who inspires you to do what you do? So I was just reflecting on this walk, and I was thinking about when I did a TEDx, and if I could have gone back to my past self and told her, the shy, anxious, quiet girl, always used to get quiet and considerate on my school reports, and I had such extreme anxiety that I couldn't even speak to 5 people in one room in a meeting. It was like really severe social anxiety, and I went from that to doing a TEDx. So I think my younger self would be really shocked, but it is through being inspired by others really that led to me deciding to apply and to go big and all in on being confident enough to stand on that stage. So I went to a TEDx event where a friend of mine was speaking, and she was the first person who showed me it was okay for me to be me. So up until that moment I met her, I didn't even know I was an introvert, let alone highly sensitive, let alone autistic, and I was trying to fit in. And then we had a conversation, and she was working on a really busy project, and she said, oh, after this project I'm such an introvert, I'm going to go find a log cabin somewhere and just like hibernate for the weekend. And I was like, oh, I do that too. And she was like, yeah, well of course we do, we're introverts. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, so cut a long story short, she ended up doing a TEDx, and I went to the event that she was speaking at, and I looked at her up on stage, and something just came over me that was like, wow, if she can do that, maybe I can do that. And at the time I was like, yeah, not yet, Gemma, maybe one day. You know, it's like, oh, maybe one day. And what really inspired me was there was a networking meal after the event with all the speakers, and she said to me and to the organisers, like, very clearly, I'm not coming to that networking event. I'm an introvert. I'll need to go home after that event and recharge. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe I can do this and do this in my own way. So the TEDx event happened in my local area. Application was open, and I decided, I had this split-second moment, I thought, I'm going to put my application in. If this is meant to happen, I will get through. And I made it through. I got through to, out of 400 applicants, I got through to the top 30. And I remember that moment in my body. I was standing in my kitchen at the time, and the email came through on my phone saying you've got in, and this whole lifting feeling came across my body, and it was like, yes, this is right. So although my brain was like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? My body was like, this is right. So I trusted that feeling, but I was led to that decision by being inspired by her, because she was showing me that she was doing things in a way that was authentic for her. And it was just this aha moment, which led me to like where I'm at now and the work that I do with clients now, which is like, we can do what we want. We just need to work out a way of doing it that works for us. So like with TEDx, for example, I did the same thing. I thought, great, she's role modeled that for me. I'm not going to go to the networking event. People were saying, are you crazy? There's celebrities there, you're missing out networking with them. I was like, no, stood my ground. So do you want me to get up on that stage? Then firstly, I'm not going to be at the event all day. I'll be mainly meditating in the car until I go on stage. And secondly, I'm not coming to the networking event. And then like a whole load of self-care around that event happened. I was working in my corporate job at the time, so I asked it's a really loud bird. I asked my boss if I could work from home, like around that time, to like really conserve my energy. At lunchtimes, I was like hopping onto my phone and like practicing my talk, because I had to remember it all word for word as well, right? So yeah, let me know in comments who has inspired you to do something amazing.